The FDA's decision to limit the availability of the Johnson & Johnson COVID vaccine. The agency is taking action over the risk of blood clots connected to the vaccine. We're going to hear from the head of the COVID response for the White House, Dr. Ashish Jha, in just a moment. Whit Johnson starts us off. Good morning, Whit.
George, good morning. For months now, health experts have been moving away from the Johnson & Johnson vaccine, instead recommending Pfizer or Moderna. But this takes it a significant step further, restricting access to J&J and preventing most Americans from getting the shot. This morning, the FDA limiting the use of the Johnson & Johnson single-shot vaccine following an investigation into reports of rare blood clots. Federal health experts saying there are safer options, and now only those 18 and older who don't have access to a Pfizer or Moderna vaccine or won't take them can still get J&J.
If you had the J&J shot a long time ago, there was no cause for panic. This is a rare side effect that happens in the days and months after the shot. But even with that small risk, it meant that the FDA would acknowledge that.
Overnight, GMA spoke with Emma Berkey, who was 18 when she got the J&J vaccine.
It's just one shot. It's quick, and I just never in a million years imagined something like this happening.
A week after receiving the shot, Emma says her life has never been the same.
13 months ago, I was hospitalized for about 4 months as a result of having brain bleeds, blood clots, 4 strokes, 3 brain surgeries.
This as COVID infections are again on the rise, and at least 35 states seeing an increase in hospital admissions. Health officials also reporting more people are turning to the drug Paxlovid to fight COVID. Its use up tenfold in recent weeks. But among patients who took the pills, scientists are now investigating some reports of a relapse in COVID symptoms. After taking the 5-day course, 63-year-old Lauren Martin was first thrilled when she started to feel better and tested negative. But a week later, those symptoms came back.
My symptoms second time around, especially just right from that first day, were stronger than my symptoms the first time around.
In clinical trials, Paxlovid cut the risk of hospitalization by nearly 90%. Despite some reports of relapse, many health experts still confident in the drug's benefits. And back to the J&J vaccine. Of the 17 million Americans who got the shot, 9 people have died. And while these blood clots are serious but very rare, the point health experts are emphasizing is that the other 2 vaccines in the U.S., Pfizer and Moderna, are both safer and more effective. George.
Okay, Whit, thanks. Let's bring in the White House COVID response coordinator, Dr. Ashish Jha. Dr. Jha, thanks for joining us again this morning. Let's begin with this FDA decision. How big a risk is this Johnson & Johnson vaccine? And what about if you've already had the shot?
Yeah, good morning, George. Thanks for having me here. First of all, this risk is extremely rare. We're talking about 1 in 2 million people ended up having a really horrible outcome. Again, 3 in a million getting any kind of a side effect on this on terms of that TTS that we're tracking closely. So it's extremely rare. Now, what if you've already had the vaccine? You have to remember, all of those side effects appear in the first 2 to 3 weeks after the vaccine. If you're beyond that time period, you really have nothing to worry about except the fact that you've gotten a very high quality vaccine that's going to protect you.
Who should still get the Johnson & Johnson vaccine?
Well, so, what FDA is saying is at this point, even though this is extremely rare, the bottom line is there are other options. We have Moderna and Pfizer, both of which don't have this rare side effect. So they're recommending strongly that everybody else, that people get those instead. But if you have a problem with one of those 2 vaccines, then Johnson & Johnson is still an option for you.
We've also had these reports about the Paxlovid treatment. How concerned are you about what appears to be the recurrence of symptoms of some people after finishing this treatment from Pfizer?
Yeah, so we're still tracking the data on this, George. Right now, what we're seeing is about 2%, so 1 out of 50 people end up having some sort of a recurrence. None of those people have in the clinical trials gone on to get particularly sick or end up in the hospital. So not particularly concerning. If you are one of those rare people who has this side effect, or not really side effect, one of these recurrences, what you want to do is you just want to isolate for a few more days until the symptoms go away, until you turn negative again.
Finally, the latest round of COVID funding still stalled on Capitol Hill. What are the consequences?
Oh, the consequences here are quite catastrophic if we do not get funding. I mean, my goodness. We're not going to have vaccines for the American people. We're going to run out of treatments for the American people. We're not going to have diagnostic testing. It's a pretty bad situation. I think Congress is going to step up and do the right thing. They have to.
Dr. Jha, thanks as always for your time.
Thank you, George.
Hi, everyone. George Stephanopoulos here. Thanks for checking out the ABC News YouTube channel. If you'd like to get more videos, show highlights, and watch live event coverage, click on the right over here to subscribe to our channel. And don't forget to download the ABC News app for breaking news alerts. Thanks for watching.